guys, welcome. Oh, hang on. Whoop. There you are. Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. So this last week, I have finally hit my first YouTube milestone. So I've been on YouTube 5 months now, and I finally hit 100 subscribers on my channel, which I know is a very, very small number. I know people have 100 billion subscribers. For me, that is like the first hurdle that I've got to, that I'm actually proud of myself. I worked hard for those 100 of you who watch my videos, who care what I have to say. It's a long way from what I started at, which is obviously a 0. And no following on Instagram or anywhere else. I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just a normal person. So the fact that 100 of you are supporting me is amazing, and I'm so happy for that. So I thought that what I would do is kind of have a bit more of a like getting to know you type of video, where I just tell you 10 things that you probably don't know about me that might be surprising, that might not be surprising, and just have a bit more of a chat so that we can get to know each other a bit better. Some of these things that you don't know about me, or you might not know about me, might require more of an explanation, or you might have more questions, or you might just want to know more. You might be nosy, you might want to hear the full story behind some of these things. So if that is the case, then please let me know in the comments below if there's something that you're like, hang on girl, you did not give us a full story on that, I want to know more about that. Then I can make a whole video on that if anyone would find it useful, because I think some of them might be things that other people, you know, others feel the same way or have had similar experiences. You might want to talk a bit more, hear a bit more about my side. So please feel free to let me know in the comments below if you want to hear more about any of these things. I guess I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is just my stats, I guess. So I am 33 years old. I am from the southwest of England. I am married and I have 2 babies. One, my little girl, she is 3.5, and then I have a little boy who is 1.5. I have been married now for 4 years. We just had our 4th anniversary back in April, and our daughter's birthday is one day before our anniversary. Before I had kids, I was not a broody person, I was not a baby person, I was not a child person. I was the first. I only have one sibling, my sister, and she now has a 2-year-old boy as well, but I was the first of us to have a baby, so I never had like a baby, you know, that I was around a huge amount or had a lot to do with. Before I had my daughter, I had never changed a nappy. I was not a big like babysitting, holding everyone's babies kind of person. That was just not me at all. But as soon as I had my daughter, I just have been obsessed with babies ever since. I love all my friends' babies. I love my sister's son. I love my own babies more than I ever thought I could know to love someone. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't always easy. I wasn't a young mum. I guess I always wanted to be a young mum, even though I wasn't sort of broody. I guess I always had that in my head, and I guess I'm more of an average-aged mum, I guess. But yeah, I really struggled after I had my daughter. I had a very traumatic birth with my daughter, and I found that really hard. Like I wouldn't necessarily say that I suffered from postnatal depression, because it didn't really feel like that. I didn't feel necessarily depressed. I didn't cry a lot. Lots of people were saying, oh, you cry all the time once you first have a baby because of your emotions, and I never cried at all. I had everything together. I wasn't struggling as far as like coping with her, but I just didn't feel like in this bubble of just joy and love like I think people, you know, say that they are, and actually that I really experienced and understood when I had my son, which was a much more natural, straightforward birth. I immediately felt all that stuff that you're supposed to feel, but with her it was, you know, it was a struggle. I just didn't feel normal for a long time after I had her, and that was, I think, all to do with the birth and my recovery and all that stuff that was all really traumatic. So I think now I really understand why that was. At the time I didn't know that wasn't normal, but having had a much more normal or healthy or straightforward birth and recovery of my son, I now know how that, you know, honeymoon period with your newborn should really have felt now. But I can't regret anything, because we are so close now. She is my absolute best friend, my world, my playmate, and my little boy is just my baby. And I guess he always will be, because we are done now. We are done. I went through a big period of wanting more babies, just because I missed having a newborn baby, you know. But my husband pointed out that if we continue every time a child starts to walk making a new baby, we'll have 38 children before we're done. So we've called it a day. The next thing that you may or may not know about me is I'm a huge animal lover. I have one ginormous dog that I both love and hate with the same balance, because if you're a dog owner like me, and if you have a dog that is the size of my dog, which is basically the same size as me, then you will know they can be a pain in the bum, they can smell, they can follow you around all day every day, they can lick you, they can wipe their noses on your clothes, they can drive you nuts. But also they are just so loving, and especially him, he's so needy, he's so loving. He's a great huge Labradoodle. He's like almost white, and he is like very handsome, very loving, very needy, more needy than either of my children. I've always had animals. When I was little, I had everything from a stick insect to a hamster to a chinchilla to gerbils to rabbits to horses to dogs to cats. I have had every pet you can have, apart from a tortoise. I've never had a tortoise. Next thing you may or may not know about me, or you probably don't know. I don't know how you would know, unless you know me, unless you've met me. I'm so confused. Shut up. Next thing you might not know about me is that when I was a young person, I was an international swimmer. I swam for England and Great Britain juniors when I was like 15 to 17. I was a full-time swimmer until I was 20, when I just had a series of injuries and illnesses that kind of just stopped it being fun, stopped it being successful, and just stopped it being fun for me. And I just found everything just sort of started to go down the pan. I started to really struggle, and I was around that age, and I finished uni, and I wanted to go and make money, and swimming was just not going well. It was no longer enjoyable, and so I called it a day at age 20 and went out into the real world. But I still now work in sport, so I will now work with Olympic and professional athletes, and what I do with them is I sort of help them with their personal and professional development while they are still training, because it's very hard to find a job and to get an education while you're an Olympic athlete. They train, you know, numerous hours throughout the day, throughout the week. They never get time off, they never get days off. They have a crazy busy life, so it's very hard for them to continue their professional development, to continue their education, to have like a normal balanced life outside of their sport. So that's kind of my job, is to help them with all of that stuff, and it is the best job in the world. Next fun fact is I am allergic to wasps. Well, not wasps, wasp stings. So it's a bit of a weird one. I never started off life being allergic to wasps, but when I was younger, I got stung so many times by wasps that I developed an allergy to them. I don't know if this is normal. I don't even know if that's actually possible. That's just what I've been told by the doctors, so I've just gone with it. But basically, when I was like 8, I think, really young, I got a wasp stuck up my dress, and it stung me like 10 times. It was my mum like thought I was just breaking out into a dance, so once she figured out what was actually happening, it actually took her quite a long time to get it off and get it out of my dress. So by that time it stung me all over my whole body, and then after that I got stung. The next time I got stung, my whole leg swelled up. When we went to the doctors, they said basically because I'd taken so many stings and so much venom into my body during those previous stings, that I now will probably have quite extreme reactions to stings. So I now have a wasp sting allergy. So thanks, wasps, thanks. It may not surprise you to know that I am like somewhat of a fitness fanatic. So I have a huge gym in my house with all like free weights and all cardio machines. I do a lot of weights mainly, but quite a lot of HIIT as well. Obviously, having been like a full-time swimmer for most of my life, obviously you'd expect me to like keep fit and healthy and all that stuff. My husband also is like a fitness expert. He was a Olympic strength coach in his previous role. He now is more on like the business side and the sort of management side in his sport, but he was previously like an S&C strength and conditioning coach. So he sets me all my programs, and I train in the gym like 5 or 6 times a week, and I eat really healthy and just keep myself in as good shape as I can. When I first had my first child, and I said to my husband, right, you know, it's me who's got to ruin my body, it's me who's got to carry this child, it's your job to put it back like it was when we started. So that was our deal, that he was going to help me get back my body and my shape and my weight post the babies, which, to be fair, we have done. I am now below the weight when I first got pregnant, and while my body I don't necessarily think will ever look 100% the same, I think we've done a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. So the next thing about me is that I have been married before. So this is my second marriage. My first marriage, I got married when I first got married when I was 24, which I guess for a lot of people will say, oh, that was really young, and that must be, I guess, why it didn't work out. But the man that I married was actually 30 when we got married, so I guess then it's, you know, that makes sense of it, I guess, because it was a very grown-up relationship. We lived together, you know, for a couple of years before we got married. So yeah, it didn't feel like I was too young. Now I would obviously say that perhaps I would have made a different decision if I'd known then what I knew now, but who does know then what they know now, unless you're a time traveller. I'm very, very thankful that that did not work out, because I then got to meet my husband, who is my everything, my world, my perfect human, everything that I've always wanted in life, and he's given me these 2 incredible children and our beautiful home and all of our happiness. So I know that all of that happened because it was meant to happen, but it was a very traumatic, for me, breakdown of that marriage. So I guess although it was a horrible time and a horrible lesson, I got like the ultimate dream outcome of it. And I guess now I'm so grateful that, you know, that happened, and I didn't sort of stay in this kind of mediocre marriage as I now know it to be, and instead I got to meet my absolute hero, my soulmate, because I was ready to meet him, and, you know, I knew what I had when I had it because of what had happened before. So the one thing to take out of that is that I guess I still have like you know, wounds from that whole experience in that relationship, like everybody does. You know, past relationships, they leave their little scars, don't they? And I definitely have some from them. I suffered for quite a long time of panic attacks after that marriage breakdown. I've always been kind of quite high anxiety levels type of person, but that sort of like got exacerbated by that whole situation. So I had some panic attacks, and that has calmed down. I don't really suffer from them anymore. I do get really high anxiety sometimes, much more than I guess most people do, but I am like much more able to control it now and deal with it better, and my husband really supports me in dealing with that. I'm a very untrusting person, which you like for obvious reasons. I don't trust people very easily. I keep almost everybody at full arm's length. I have very few close friends, and even they struggle sometimes, you know, to get the full trust and full sort of openness from me, because I am like so reserved with people, and you know, I guess I will always be like that, and I don't necessarily feel like that's a bad thing. It's maybe sad where it's come from, but I feel like I'm much more sort of prepared and stronger and much less naive than I used to be, which comes from a sad place, but actually I'm okay with the fact that I'm a bit more alert and a bit more aware of what is out there in the world and how people can behave that you think you know and all that kind of stuff. I was very naive and very fully overly sillily trusting of anyone and everybody, and saw the good in everyone before my marriage breakdown. So I think in a way that was an incredibly valuable lesson for me. The other thing that that sort of time of my life kind of left me with was the I don't really know how to talk. I've never really talked about this before, so I find it really hard. I don't even know how to sort of put it. I guess it's like an anxiety related condition or like symptom, which is called dermatillomania. And I've only just really learnt that word. I never knew it had a name before, what I do or how I am, but it's basically like skin picking, I guess, or hurting your skin in some way. People do it in all different ways. Some people, and I think it's called something else if you do it to your hair. Some people, you know, pull their hair out or pick at their hair. I think it's called something else if it's your hair. So dermatillomania is your skin. And I don't know if everybody is the same as me. For me, it's my fingers. I pick and pull the skin off my fingers and also my lips until like they bleed. And I do that when I'm feeling anxious or feeling upset. It gets a lot worse. I pretty much do it all of the time. Sometimes I have really good spells where I don't do it for maybe a week and everything heals, but then it's usually straight back again. And my husband has tried to stop me, but how he tries to stop me is by literally saying stop it or, you know, taking my hands away. And you know, really that's obviously not going to be very effective. And I guess really the only way, you know, to get rid of it would be maybe to have like some therapy or something like that. But I guess because I don't like see it as much of an issue, I'm not causing myself, you know, infections or like doing anything that's really hurting myself like long term. It is an anxiety thing, and it does like feel like it's what I just will sit here like hurting my fingers with my nails or like pulling the skin off my lips or whatever. That's like what I've always done it. You know, when I feel anxious, not always, in the last like 5 or so years. So yeah, I guess it's just the norm for me. And then I was Googling about it because when I had like a really like tough, I guess it was post my daughter, when I was struggling with my recovery and everything, when it got much worse, probably the worst it's been. And so I started sort of like researching into it, and that's when I found the word and actually found it's actually like a quite common condition that people with anxiety have. And you know, people, it manifests in all different ways. Some people do it on their arms, or that some people apparently, you know, do it with like tweezers and things like that to like really hurt their skin and leave scars. So there's all different like levels of it, I guess, and this is just what I do, and it's just one of these things that is like a symptom or a product, I guess, of my anxiety and the feelings like when I feel stressed or under pressure or anxious that I just do. It's like a habit that I've got into. Go away, Laurie. So yeah, I guess it's a bad habit now, and one that I should really work at. But yeah, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. So kind of linked to that in my whole anxiety behavioural stuff is that I suffer from like, I guess I would call it mild, I guess I would, but I don't know what is mild and what is bad really, but social anxiety. So I again, this is quite a new thing that I've found a word for, that I've felt, and again it's been in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, post my marriage breakdown. And yeah, I guess the way that I sort of feel and the way that my social anxiety manifests, I guess, is that I really don't like meeting new people. That is my main thing. Not that I hate people, and I always sort of joke with my friends and say, oh God, I hate people, I hate new people. But it is true, but it's not that I hate them, it's that I find it terrifying and very uncomfortable and very hard to talk to people that I don't know or to be around people that I don't know. And it's always something that people find really, really surprising, because I never talk about it, and I don't think you'd ever notice. You may I guess think if you just met me that I was a bit standoffish or I was cold or I was rude or something, but really it's because I feel so uncomfortable and I get this horrendous, you know, the tight, terrified chest feeling of just dark inside your heart, where you don't know how to, you know, deal with the situation. But I guess because everyone knows me as being really outgoing and confident and loud and friendly, that you would definitely not associate me having like a social phobia type of thing. But I do, and so I guess that's quite an interesting thing to think that, you know, there's so many people that you don't know are going through something or have, you know, some kind of anxiety about something that you might think are stronger than you or more confident than you, and really you don't know what's going on inside anybody. But yeah, for me, like, where I struggle, the things that I found hard are going to, like, you know, parties or friends, like gatherings or dinners or something. That's always hard. If I know everyone well who's going to be there, then I'm okay with it. I'd still rather it was just like literally me and my very best friends or me and my family, but I can cope fine if you know, I know the people, I have met them there, but if you know, a good few times, I'm fine. But if I was to turn up and there are people I wasn't expecting to be there, I completely shut down like that. I end up not talking, just sitting by myself. I completely shut down and close down because I'm just don't know how to cope or what to say and all that kind of stuff, and it's really weird. I'm sure everyone thinks I'm so rude. The other things I really find hard are like walking across a restaurant. So if I was meeting someone to walk into a restaurant, I find really, really hard. Or if I was meeting someone somewhere and I was there first, to like wait somewhere by myself. I would hate if you're in the cinema and you know you have to go and get to the bathroom or go and get something from outside to come back in again. I'd find that so hard because I feel like everyone is watching me. I also have like a real like paranoia about people talking about me or not liking me, or you know, even my very closest friends, I'm constantly living in, you know, paranoid thoughts that they don't really like me or they don't really want to be my friend, or they'd, you know, rather I would just not be there. I just have all these like thoughts and fears and phobia about stuff. And I do think that, like, since having kids, when you have to get out, you have to meet new people, you have to like go to soft plays and take them to playgroup, it's definitely got better. I've definitely managed it better, but ultimately I'd rather stay in my house and never leave and never see anybody apart from like maybe 10 people max I feel fully happy and confident with, than ever, you know, come into contact with anyone else. That's like what makes me very anxious and I find really, really hard. So yeah, I guess it's one of those really weird things. And again, I never knew that it was a thing. I just felt all these ways and just thought I was weird, or like, you know, I sort of just deal with it. But again, having sort of, I saw a TV program where someone was talking about it and it was all just ringing so familiar, all these things, and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly me, that's exactly what I do. And then it sort of all clicked and I started reading up on it and researching it, and it just made me feel so much better knowing that it was a thing. It wasn't just that I was crazy, it's something that lots of people have issues with, and you know, it's not that weird or that unusual even, it's just you would never know it unless it was happening to you, I guess. Then the final thing that you would not know about me is I love knitting. I love it. My mum taught me to knit when I was really, really young, but I have not done it for years and years until I had my babies and started like wanting to knit them hats and little booties and stuff. And I knitted my little boy's whole coming home outfit, which I'll show you now because I'm so proud. I made that, I knitted that. I am proud. Are you impressed? And I know that I'm at least half the age of the average knitter, but I find it so relaxing. It's so good for my anxiety. I really enjoy it. You know, you feel like so creative. It's so easy actually, you know, just to follow a pattern, and I just really enjoy it. I'd give it a go. If you have like some of these things, like I have these anxiety issues and worries and stress, give it a go. Like there's nothing like sort of some kind of like craft or arty stuff to like relax you. Like the mindfulness colouring, again, I really love that. That takes my mind off stuff, helps me relax and just be free and clear in my mind instead of these crazy thoughts that I torment myself with. So that's it. Those are all the things that you probably didn't know or didn't want to know, or now you do know about me. So hopefully now you feel like you know me a bit better, and like I said, if there's anything, any questions about any of what I've said, or anything where you're like, let's have a whole video on that, love, because I want to hear more, then please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already so we can see you again. Anyway, bye for now. Take care, bye bye.